Good afternoon. This is Lynn Griffin, your Peak Performance Director of Club Fitting Operations. Today we're going to deal with a subject that I hope most of you will find interesting, and that has to do with our drivers and what is the proper length. Now, as you know, we have talked about drivers and their length before in relationship to how accurate we are, how much we hit it on the center of the club face, directionality of the shot, and I think all of that has a lot of importance when it comes to dealing with what is the correct length, because obviously it is easier to swing a short stick and hit a better shot and more accurate shot than it is to swing the longer stick. However, today we're going to deal with the peak performance golf swing and length of driver in relationship to being able to perform the vertical and upright swing. Now obviously the longer the shaft is, the further it's going to stand you from the golf ball. Also, the flatter it's going to make you swing. At this time I'd like for you to take a look at the two illustrations that I have for you. The first illustration would show a gentleman, and again, I know I'm not an artist, but use your imagination. This would represent somebody who is fairly tall with a normal, or should we say average, wrist to floor measurement, and using a particular length driver there. As you see, it's actually a fairly good setup. The second illustration shows a person of not quite the same height, and their wrist to floor measurement is closer to the ground, i.e. their hands are closer to the ground now. So they're using the same driver length, and if you look at the dotted line A, that would be what would cause their swing path to be with a longer driver. As you can see, they're further from the spot where the head would be, so they're addressing the ball further out. And then the second thing is they're having to swing a good bit flatter. Now if you take that and try to convert it to a vertical and upright swing, which would be line B of the second illustration, and then follow it down to in the downswing, you'll see how it's making impact in a spot behind where the ball would actually be. They're actually grounding out and hitting the ground. So what we're getting at here is, with shorter individuals with arm lengths that are closer to the ground, the longer the driver you're trying to swing, the more difficult it is going to be for you to make a vertical and upright swing and get the club in a vertical position over the soft part of the shoulder, closer to the right ear, at the top of your backswing. So a lot of you are thinking that, you know, geez, I can't do this swing. I can't hit this driver. And you know what? With the driver that you're trying to do it with, you're absolutely right. It's just too long. So again, here's where club fitting comes in. Now this one should be relatively inexpensive. You can do a wrist to floor measurement with a fitter. He can make a recommendation of what should be done for the driver shaft length. And also, while you're at it, you can do your own test. Go out, put some duct tape on the face, and start at, let's say, 43 and a half inches hitting golf balls, and work your way up to where you're not getting a centered shaft or a centered face hit, and your shot dispersion on the club face is all over the place, and you're just not getting much accuracy. And this would be a good way to find out what would be a good length for you. But again, in the peak performance golf swing, when you're trying to get vertical and upright, when you're swinging too long a club, it's going to make it very difficult to perform that task. And in order to keep from hitting the ground on your downswing, which I'm sure some of you probably do from time to time, you have to start making compensations. And the first compensation that you're going to make is you're going to slide the hips out, which in essence will lengthen the arc and allow you to still swing that long club, but every shot you're hit is going to be a dead push or a slice off to the right. That's for us right-handed people. The only way you can really combat that is if you got flippy at the bottom and over-rotated your hands, which is not good either, and then you could hit some smother pull hooks. Another way to compensate for a driver that's too long trying to make a vertical swing is as you come down in the impact zone, you actually lift up on your toes. In essence, that's putting you further from the ground. So none of these compensations for too long a driver are good. So the best thing to do is take the time, go to a fitter. If you're having trouble with your driver, find out if it's the length. And if it is, simple matter to fix. Once again, it's been Lynn Griffin. We appreciate your support, and thank you personally from my wife and myself for all your prayers. It is greatly appreciated. Keep it vertical, and remember, better golf is just a fit away.